Today, I'm going to show you 4 small builds that I made for the 2025 Rogue Olympics. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are here with something that looks a little bit like a minifigure habitat, and we are actually with an 8x8 base. So 2 of these builds are going to be very similar to habitat, so I thought it's something that you would enjoy if you like my minifigure habitat. So here I'm building a sauna. Why I'm building a sauna is because the topic of that week of the Rogue Olympics was temperature. So here I'm going with some regular tan. Here we have a little door that goes outside, and then I build a little sitting area that I connect sideways. You can see that there is a lot of parts missing over here. This is because in this contest I need to build using maximum 101 parts. So I need to make sure that every piece counts. Over here we have a little gap because I'm going to do a little bit of sideways building. So the texture here is achieved with the back side of the masonry brick, while here I'm using these profile bricks to give another interesting texture over there. I think it's pretty clear what we have over here. Now, because the door is at the edge, I think we need to extend it a little bit. So I added a little extra piece over here. So it looks a little bit more of enclosed scene. This, I thought it could be maybe some place where there is some lights or something like that. But anyway, just an extra decoration over there. On the back side, I would like to have a little bit of force perspective. So I have this very little build. Look at this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. In the original submission, I actually have some different slopes that then I repurposed for another build. But never mind. Just to give you an idea on how this was built. So in this way, if you look at this from the right perspective, it will look like you have a snowy landscape on the side with a little tree at the back. Initially, I wanted to put more trees, but I was going over the piece count, so I decided to keep it as it is. Now I need to add a minifigure to make it even more look about the temperature, make it look a little bit more like we have a high temperature over here. So we have a minifigure here with some sweat running down, and this is gonna be sitting here, or maybe a little bit, maybe like this is okay. And now I want to make it look like he's wearing a towel on top of his lower parts. So that's why he doesn't have the legs. I separate the legs from the hips. I added this rounded 1x2. In this way, if I just put this over there, it looks like he's actually sitting and he has a towel on top of his lower part, which looks pretty nice. Now to finish this up, we're gonna, as usual, add some details. So I have this little piece that I think is supposed to be a cast piece for minifigure. You can see there is a place where the minifigure can connect. And this is gonna be probably some towel that is laying there on the side. We are gonna put one of these things, they have with the stones inside where you pour the water into the sauna with some steam coming up. And also I'm gonna add here a sort of big bowl of water. This one is a bit weird because it comes a little bit too high compared to the base, but it kind of gives the effect of this being full of water, and I managed to add that on a table as well. If I do a careful balance act, I can also add this is a minifigure spoon, but I think it could look like the accessory that you use to pick up the water to pour then on the stones. So there it is. Like most of this build is quite fragile because it counts only 100 or 101 parts. Now I don't remember exactly, but very similar in look to what a minifigure habitat is. Now let's move this to the side and let's move on to the next build. The next build is a little bit interesting, and here I need to be very careful with this build because the connection is quite interesting. So the topic of this build this week was wish. So I decided to build a wishing well. So here I bring in a friend's minifigure. I wanted to do something magical. This is a space suit, but I'm gonna put this minifigure turned this way, so I think the colors match this magical vibe. If you notice, we have a weird round shape over here with the ingot pieces. That is actually one of these watches kind of thing, this Lego product that came out a couple of years ago or maybe more. And I thought I can finally use that for a rounded shape structure. Now here we have some vegetation, and now I'm gonna bring another piece over here. I decided to build a sort of arch structure. We have some other greenery on the side that kind of frame the build. These three trunk pieces help me to get this shape. We have the angle stud, and then we have a little bucket over there to give me the shape of this cover on top of the wishing well, and then we can add a minifigure over here looking inside, waiting for the wish to be granted. I decided to then add, I had a few pieces left to the 100 piece count, to add a little bit of extra decoration. So we have a sort of lantern that I'm gonna put over there with a little bit of light over there. In post editing, I can add a little bit of sparkling around. I can add some plants that kind of follow the same color scheme over here. And this one is supposed to be a green mushroom with this eye printed part that is just going to be sitting on there. And we can also eventually continue a little bit here with a little bit of additional landscape, just laying over there to give a little bit of extra interesting detail to the build. With a little bit of lighting and the right editing, it looks even nicer. A pretty nice, simple build, and I really enjoy the magical feel. Now let's move on to a build a little bit bigger inside before we check the last one that is going to be another habitat. So here I'm bringing in these two big slopes that if you watch the video, I don't know if you watch it because not many people did, I designed my own Lego Friends set and I used those two parts on the roof. It's a very, very fun project. I highly recommend you to go and check out the video, even if you're not a Friends fan. This is going to be a little bit of landscape to which I can connect this other rocky structure like so. So here we have this interesting structure on which we are going to have, in this case, the sushi chef walking outside this rocky pet. Okay. The point here, the prompt of this week was attack. So on top of this, I'm going to frame everything with a torii gate of sort. So I have this little column, red column, with this writing that come from probably some Lunar New Year set, I would assume. I don't remember exactly, and I'm not sure what's the meaning of this. On top, I'm using these fairly recent roof pieces that I think they kind of work, and then I can just add a little bit of support here. Now, because of these jumpers over here, this connection on top, this is actually not straight, so I need to tilt it a little bit so the connection is not proper, but this will give me a little bit of opening, diagonal shape to this torii gate. And then I can add another ninja that is jumping off the top, so this is gonna be called sneak attack. That's the choice that I made for that week. Now I'm gonna move the camera back so you can also pick a little bit of my lighting box system that I use for this video, so you have a little bit of behind the scene. And here is how this build looks like. Now I'm gonna put also the proper picture on screen so you can see how the proper picture look like. And now we can take this out and have a look at the last one. That is the one that is more close to an habitat size. So here I have this interesting base, which is also 8x8, it's rounded, and I'm gonna use it as the bottom of a airplane. Here I have a little bit of build of the wall as well. If you are one of my members and my Dreamers member and watch my members only vlog, you know I picked up these 4 1x2 printed bricks in a recent Bricklink order. They make of some good, interesting design also for microscale building, while the base come from the space rover, the French space rover, for which I built 2 alternate model not long ago. That was a very, very fun video as well. Now, the topic of this week was class. So I decided to build a first class kind of cabin. So the first thing I did was to build a seat. So I'm using this big shoulder piece to which I make a connection that also allow me to spin it around. And I have a chair with a jumper. This is going to be connecting like so. And now here we have this interesting design with the recline chair, and this is going to connect somewhere there and also give me the chance to rotate this a little bit right and left. Now, we need to give a little bit of details to make this very luxury. So I have, again, another of those stickers from the friend set. I connect the 1x3 at the back with a blaster, and this is gonna be a big TV screen that is coming off the top over here, and that allow me also to have a little bit of an inclination. I'm gonna add a small table, a tall one. This again is not a proper connection, this should be like this, but we are gonna put it straight, so the connection is not gonna be great. Now you're gonna see a lot of my hands in this video, because this is a very small build with some fiddling illegal techniques, let's say. Now over here I'm gonna add another table where we can have a newspaper, so that's something also that this businessman traveling will need. And then we have another little structure that connect to a jumper there on the bottom, and this is the sort of control panel to control all the things that are going on over here. On the back over here I'm gonna add the waiter, so he's here on a jumper. He's coming a little bit off the frame, but it doesn't really matter. I wanted to make it even more luxurious. Then we need to add a few details, and here is where I need to be a little bit careful, because those items are just placed there. So we're gonna add a sushi on the table, and we used the sushi chef earlier. I managed in some recent order to pick up also these chopsticks that are gonna be on the side table there. We have a couple of luggages. This is a Wakanda one, by the way, not related, but these are gonna be there. I actually would like this to go a little bit deeper inside, but then I would have to restructure everything, and I had to keep again these at 100 parts. And then here we have the businessman with his suit, with a phone. I'm guessing he has Wi-Fi on the plane, and a drink. So he's gonna sit over there, and now to complete the scene, which is already inside a 8x8, except the waiter coming off there. So he's actually in a minifigure size that could be adapted to fit into a regular minifigures if I extend a little bit here and add a wall at the back. I also did a little bit of build at the back, a little bit of first perspective to make it look like he's actually flying, and we have the clouds and the sun. If you look at this from the right perspective, you will not see the support at the back, but you will see the sun and the cloud flying by while the plane fly by. Now let me know what you think about these builds, which one was your favorite, and if you would like to see more of these building challenge, I recommend you to go and check out the video with the first 4 builds that I did for this edition of the Rogue Olympics that I uploaded here on the channel just a few weeks ago. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Ciao, ciao.